a mean of a group frequency distribution table. The table below shows the wages of employees in a factory. Wages in 1,000 shillings means 51 to 60, that is 10. 61 to 70, that is 26. Now 71 up to 80, that is 34. Then 81 up to 90, that is 23. And 91 up to 100, that is 7. Means the table below shows the wages of the employee in a factory. Means for those which have been paid from 51,000 to 60,000, there are 10 of them. That is the number of frequency. And for those who have been paid 61 to 70, there are 26. And for those that have been paid 71,000 to 8,000, there are 34. And for those who've been paid 81 to 90,000, there are 23. And those who've been paid 91,000 to 100,000, there are 7 of them. Now, you have to estimate the mean wage. Means the payment in estimation, the payment that will be made for a single employee in a factory. So we are looking for the mean. But this is all about a group frequency distribution table. So they are grouped. So what you have to do is to draw another distribution table that will include the midpoints for this group D, for this group D frequent distribution numbers. So what you have to do to find the midpoints, to get the midpoint, you have to find out. Example now, you are having 51 to 60. The midpoint is obtained by taking half, then you take the lower class boundary of 51, it is 50.5, and then upper class boundary is 6.5. Now this you sum them, so it's all about finding out the average of these two numbers. It is where now you find it is 60.5 plus 50.5. It is where now you divide it by 2 is equal now to 55.5. So you are only looking for a midpoint. So you do the same thing to this group, to every group of the number. You find out the midpoint. Therefore, after then, it is where now you come to represent these numbers in a midpoint as another frequent distribution table. How does it happen? So midpoints, that is X. Now you represent midpoint, that is X. Now the first one, as I said, it is now 55.5. This is now, then it is frequency is 10. And the second one, the midpoint for this one is now 65.5. And then it is frequency is 26, 75.5. And that is it is the frequency is 34. And then the next one is 85.5. That is it is the frequency is 24. And the last one is 95.5. and it is the frequency is 7. So this is how it is done. Therefore, we are having something fx. Let us find fx. It is this time this one 555, and then this time this one you get it is 1704.3, and then what next? This and this one again you have 2, 5, 6, 7. Therefore, and the next one it is now 2052, and therefore the next one it is now 6680.5. Therefore, after then you have multiplied this time this one, you are looking for fx, this time this one, this time this one. Now 55.5 times 10 it is 555, and then 65.5 times 26, that is 1704.3, and then 75.5 times 34, that is 2667. 85.5 times 24, that is 2052, and then 95.5 times 7, it is 668.5. Therefore, the sum, therefore, what next is sum of f, and then here sum of fx. That is what we are looking for. Now, sum of f, we are just looking the summation of the frequencies. It is 100. It is 101. And then sum of fx, that is after you have added them, you have 7546.8. Now remember, mean is only obtained after you have taken sum of fx over sum of f. But sum of fx is 7546.8 over sum of f, that is 101. Therefore, it's all about mathematical concept. Taking this one, you divide it by this one, is equal now to 74.7. 74.7. Now, this is 74. Therefore, mean is equal now to 74.7. So, the question, estimate the mean wage. But remember, this wage these wages were given in terms of 1,000. It is therefore now you multiply it by 1,000. So the mean wage, 74,700. This is the shillings. This is the amount that were paid for every single employee in average. So the average of the payment that were made per single employee, it was 74,700. So to calculate what we call it mean for a group frequent distribution table, first of all, you have to find out what we call it midpoints. Midpoint is obtained by taking the lower class boundary plus the upper class boundary divided by 2. So that is equal now to half times the sum of the upper class boundary and the lower class boundary. So in other words, you would have taken this number plus this number, you divide it by 2. This number plus this number, you divide it by 2. This plus this number, you divide it by 2. Therefore, you are looking for what we call it midpoint, and that is represented, that represents x. And therefore, we have got this one. And remember, the frequency being given, the frequency is there. Now, the frequency for every number that we have written it here, it is here. And if that is the case, now definitely we have to represent. Therefore, after you have represented, you have to find out what we definitely call it fx. And fx means it is frequency times midpoints. Now, if now you take frequency times midpoint, you are definitely looking for a fx. And it is where now once you multiply, you get definitely light, it is here, this time this one it is here, this time this one it is here, and this time this one, this and this and this one. Then you are looking for a sum of fx, means you have to add up from this one to this one. You find this is the sum of fx, and then the sum of frequency, definitely from this one to this one, you get it is 101. Therefore, after you have done so, you are looking for a mean. Mean in mathematical concept is the sum of fx over sum of frequency, and it is where now definitely mathematical, simple mathematical, that is taking the upper number divided by the denominator. That is definitely you get 74.7. So this, according to the question, the wage is in 1,000, shilling 1,000, and therefore you have to multiply this by 1,000. This is the mean wage. It is the mean wage that was supposed to be paid to every person, and according to the principle, we have got this one. So this is how now we can determine what we call it mean of a group frequent distribution table.